Today we're going to talk about preventing fatigue on a fast. I got an email from Tommy Boy, and he says, "Hi John, I watch your videos on long-term fasting and I thought I'd give it a try. So for the past month, I've been doing a 60-hour fast each weekend. Props to you, that's good. Hunger is not an issue, but I feel weak, tired, and like I have a mental haze. Is there any way to prevent this so I can continue to be productive throughout the weekend? Thanks, love your videos, Tom." Okay, so there's a couple things here, right? So we gotta talk about some science. We gotta talk about why I'm sweating through my shirt. It's because I got a bright light. So here's what's likely happening to you, okay, in this case, since you're just starting this, is that you're not fat adapted. So you're going into ketosis, like 60 hours is plenty of time to go into ketosis. Your brain is not very efficient, your body's not efficient on running on ketones, right, which is created from when you don't have carbohydrates, you've depleted your glycogen stores from your liver, and your body has to basically break down fats and then convert them in the liver into to ketone. At first, your body's not good at doing this, it's not good at producing the ketones, it's not good at using them. You're not what we call fat adapted. And when that happens, like your brain is basically running off of glucose. It still has to require some amount of glucose, right? So it sort of bonks, okay? Your brain sort of like, that's where you get the haze. If you look up like keto flu, you'll kind of get an idea. So there's a couple things you could do to kind of cure the keto flu, right? The one thing is just to keep doing this for a long time. If you eat ketogenically, for about 2 weeks, your body will adapt and you'll become fat adapted. And the more that you do this, the more efficient your body will be at this and using that as an energy source, which will mean that you won't be as fatigued and as tired and as mentally hazy. The other thing that you could do is you could ingest exogenous ketones and not raspberry ketones. We're talking about like some of the companies that make these exogenous ketone that will kind of cure the haze for a little bit. Another way is to get ketones through something like MCT oil, right? These are different ways to do this. You could look this up as well if you look up keto flu and stuff like that. So that could kind of cure that for you. So there's another thing that might be happening to you as well, which is just this general thing is, right? I've done long-term fasts and I've done a full marathon completely fasted for like a day. I've gone, and started fasting on a Friday night and ran like 10 miles on a Saturday, did kickboxing on that day for an hour, like hardcore workout, completely fasted. Then on Sunday, run 20 miles, okay? And then on Monday, lift weights, heavy weights for 2 hours and then eat. So I've fasted and like had energy to do all that shit. It wasn't easy. Right? If I had some carbs, if I had some energy, some immediate energy, all those things would have been easy, but it's possible. Okay, so what I'm saying is that like when someone says, "Oh, I don't have any energy," I don't believe them because I know what's possible. I know what I've been able to do. I'm not recommending that you do that shit. You might die. I don't know. It depends. Like. So don't just like try that shit. Obviously, I worked my way up to it and knew where my limits were, right? What I have found in general, and doing my 1 meal a day, honestly, I think some people say, "Oh, fasting helps me with focus." I don't know. If I can eat some food, I'm going to feel better and I won't be hungry and I'll pretty much do better, I think, and be more productive. But it's a trade-off, right? I'd rather have the long-term health benefits and the weight benefits and the time benefits of doing the fasting. And I think that, doing long-term fast for periodically is definitely worthwhile. There's like some energy spikes that I get. Certainly I've been on a fasting high where I felt like I just had this super amount of energy. But in general, it's not the best. Like, it's not the best diet, right? If you wanted to optimize your brain power and have as much mental focus as possible, it would probably look like a lot different diet than fasting, okay? But it would come at somewhat of a cost, right, of losing the benefits of fasting. Just keep it up and you'll eventually adapt, like maybe take a 2-week or 3-week period and go completely ketogenic with some long-term fasts in there or some short-term fasts. I adopted to the 1 meal a day and I do that pretty well. I break it every once in a while, okay, and give myself a break. But in general, I've adapted to it because I got used to it. And I can think and operate pretty well. Okay, I think that I did operate better when I had more food, but again, there's a lot of factors involved. So I'd say number one is that, and then you could try out the exogenous ketones and while you're kind of making this adaptation. It's a mental thing as well, right? So when I'm on a Sunday after having fasted all day Saturday and ran, and I'm trying to bust out 20 miles, I just have to tell myself I can do it, right? Like if I let myself think, oh, you don't have any energy, you haven't eaten, you're hungry, how can you do this? Then it becomes harder. But if I tell myself, yeah, fuck, I can do this, like it's possible, then it becomes easier and I can actually do it. Some of it is just like overcoming that your mind and just saying, you know, the body's way more capable than what I'm giving it credit for, and I can just push through and make this shit happen. It's not easy, but sometimes that's the answer. And you know, it's not fun. But you know, what else can I tell you? It's like you have more energy than you think. You feel like you don't have energy, but a lot of times the fatigue is just in the mind, and you can push through and overcome that. And once you start getting going with an activity, I mean, there's been days where I've been just drained, right? And I'm like, oh, I can't even do this. And then like at mile 7 or 8 on my 10-mile run, I suddenly have this energy and I'm running 8-minute miles or 7-minute miles and sprinting through the finish line because I just, you know, it clicked over, right? Whereas when I started, I felt like shit. So, all right, long answer for your question, but hopefully this helps you, Tom. If you guys have questions, you can email me at john@bulldogmindset.com. And if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button down below. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.